chosen one. Perhaps you have encountered these words at the very moment when your heart is weary. But you do not need to turn this meeting into a mysterious sign in order to know that I still see you. I saw you before you opened these lines. I know the questions you have not spoken aloud, the sorrow you conceal behind a calm appearance, and the small hope you are still trying to preserve through long days of silence. Archangel Michael, the faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, is an image reminding you that courage does not mean the absence of fear, but the ability to stand in truth even while your heart is still trembling. Yet I am the one speaking directly to you. You have not been forgotten, you are not invisible, and the difficult seasons you have endured have not diminished your worth. Perhaps you have wondered why you have been required to wait for so long. You have prayed, tried to live kindly, and remained patient through many seasons, yet certain things have still not changed. The silence made you believe that your words had fallen into an empty space where no one was listening. You looked around and saw others apparently receiving answers more quickly, advancing more easily, and being recognized sooner. Meanwhile, you remained where you were, holding both hope and the fear that you had been left behind. I understand that inner struggle. I do not blame you for the times when you became exhausted, doubtful, or disappointed. I only ask that you not use your present feelings as proof that I have turned my face away from you. Every sincere prayer has value, but do not treat prayer as a contract that obligates me to give you the exact result, at the exact time, and in the exact form you expect. Some things you ask for will arrive differently. Some doors do not open because what lies behind them is not truly right for you. Some answers require time because you are also being changed while you wait. There are also desires you will gradually realize you no longer need in the way you once did. I do not use silence to torment you. Often, within that quietness, I am helping you distinguish between what you truly need and what fear is demanding from you. You have wanted a very clear sign to tell you whether you should continue or stop. You have longed for confirmation, strong enough to make every doubt disappear. Yet I do not want you to become dependent upon accidental words, repeating numbers, a video that appears unexpectedly, or a sudden feeling in your heart. Such things may lead you to reflect, but they should never replace discernment, responsibility, and well-founded choices. You do not need to chase signs everywhere. Look instead toward enduring values: truth, kindness, peace, consistency, and practical action. A good path will not require you to abandon your ability to reason merely to prove that you have faith. I know there have been nights when you cried, without wanting anyone to know. Sometimes you lay still while a great cry rose within you. You did not know how to express the pain, so you could only sigh and continue into the next day. Those tears do not make you weak. They reveal that you have carried too much for too long. But my beloved, do not merely count your tears while waiting for a reward equal to your suffering. Allow your tears to lead you toward honesty. What is hurting you, what you can change, what needs to be released, and where you need help from others. There are burdens you should not continue carrying alone. If sadness remains for a long time, if you frequently lose sleep, feel hopeless, or no longer have enough strength to complete ordinary tasks, seek support from someone trustworthy and from a suitable professional. Receiving help does not mean that your faith is weak. I may care for you through a conversation, through a loved one who knows how to listen, through a wise guide, or through a trained professional who can walk beside you. You do not need to prove your strength by suffering in isolation. I also want you to understand that not every season of silence ends with a dramatic reversal. That astonishes everyone. Sometimes change begins so quietly that you barely notice it. You sleep a little better. You no longer respond with the same intensity to something that once caused you to collapse. You dare to say no to an unhealthy request. You reopen work you once abandoned, call someone to whom you owe an apology, or accept that a certain door has closed. These changes may not create a loud echo, but they prove that you are no longer standing still in the old place. You may desire compensation for the years you believe were lost, but I want to broaden your understanding of restoration. Restoration does not always mean receiving back exactly what was taken. Someone who left may not return. A missed opportunity may never appear again. A period of time cannot be reversed. Yet you can still regain your ability to trust, your peace, your self-respect, your creativity, and your joy in living. You can enter healthier relationships, make wiser decisions, and use past experience to protect your future. Some things are restored not by returning to what they once were, but by becoming better than before. I do not want you to believe that you must write a comment, press a button, or make a public declaration before your prayer can be heard. You do not enter into a covenant with me through interaction on a screen. My love cannot be purchased through urgency, and my care does not depend upon whether you obey another person's pressure. No one has the right to use my name to frighten you into believing that you will miss a blessing unless you act immediately. You are free to pause, reflect, and choose in peace. If you desire to speak an affirmation, let it arise from sincerity rather than pressure. You may whisper, "I am willing to live better today." You may choose to forgive someone, bring order to your life, rest at the proper time, or begin something you have postponed. Such actions are more valuable than a sentence repeated, without any change behind it. I am not seeking loud declarations that quickly fade. I treasure a humble heart that can admit fault, continue learning, and faithfully do what is right, even when no one is watching. Be cautious of messages that make you feel as though you are the only one chosen among billions of people, and then use that claim to make you dependent upon the speaker. You are deeply precious, but your value does not come from being separated from others as though you were more special than everyone else. Every person carries dignity, pain, and the ability to do good. I do not lift you up so that you can look down upon others. I lift you so that you can raise those who are weaker, make room for those who are forgotten, and become a presence that brings peace. You may feel a stirring in your heart when you hear encouraging words. Receive that emotion, but do not make emotion your only evidence of truth. Hope and fear may arise together when you stand before change. Breathe more slowly, give yourself time, and ask, is this leading me toward freedom or dependence, toward responsibility or fantasy, toward kindness or self-exaltation? What comes from goodness will not throw you into panic, pressure you into an immediate decision, or teach you to ignore reality. I have heard the questions hidden within your heart. Do you still see me? Does my life still have meaning? Have all my efforts been useless? My beloved child, I see you, but my seeing you does not mean that I will cause everyone else to recognize you immediately. It means you do not need to trade away your dignity in order to be noticed. Your life still has meaning, but that meaning does not exist only in one great achievement. It is present in the way you treat your family, keep your word, work when no one is supervising, and choose kindness even after you have been hurt. Your sincere efforts are not useless, but they may still need to be examined and adjusted. Perseverance does not mean you must remain on the same path forever. Sometimes you need to change your method, seek advice, develop new skills, or admit that a goal is no longer suitable. Faithfulness is not stubbornness. I have given you discernment so that you do not need to repeatedly run into a wall and call it faith. Sometimes courage means continuing. At other times, courage means stopping, resting, and choosing a new direction. If you feel that the years of silence are gradually drawing to a close, welcome the new day with humility. Do not quickly declare that every difficulty will now disappear. Prepare for opportunity by bringing order to your life, healing relationships that need attention, and strengthening your abilities. An open door does not automatically make you ready to walk through it. The quiet preparation you undertake today will keep you from becoming overwhelmed when greater responsibility arrives. I want you to look back upon the past years without seeing only loss. What have you learned about yourself? Who have you discovered was truly beside you? Which boundaries have you recognized must be protected? In what ways have you matured in managing your emotions, work, and relationships? Not every lesson was worth the pain you paid for it, but you can still choose not to let that pain become meaningless. Wisdom drawn from the past can become a gift you carry into the future. Forgive those who were not beside you when you needed them. Some did not know how to support you. Some were occupied with their own struggles, and some genuinely acted selfishly. Forgiveness does not require you to reopen every door. You can release the desire for revenge while still establishing boundaries. You can wish them peace while choosing not to return to a relationship that continually causes harm. Forgiveness frees your heart. Discernment protects your steps. Forgive yourself for the times when you doubted, prayed in desperation, or lost your patience. You do not need to pretend that you are always strong. I am not afraid of your honest questions. I only ask that you not use those questions to conclude that your life has no hope remaining. You have the right to feel weary, but do not stop caring for yourself. You may pause, but do not return to old habits that once wounded you. Walk slowly, but continue walking. From this day forward, do not wait for an external announcement before believing that you are allowed to begin again. Begin with what is already within reach. Clean a neglected corner of your room. Complete one small responsibility. Call someone you love. Write down something for which you are grateful. Create a plan for a realistic goal. Each action is a way of declaring that you still value life, still believe tomorrow can be built more beautifully, and remain willing to cooperate with change. I do not promise you a life without tears, but I invite you into a life where tears are no longer the only thing that defines you. You can carry painful memories while opening your heart to new joy. You can live kindly today, even without possessing every answer. You may not yet see the entire road, but you can still move forward with discernment. Mature faith does not deny difficulty. It prevents difficulty from taking away your ability to love and hope. Therefore, release the need to prove through a miracle that this message was sent specifically to you. Hold on to what is good within it. You are seen, you can begin again, and silence does not necessarily mean that you have been forgotten. Then bring these truths into your life through one concrete choice. Forgive where you can. Seek support where you need it. Make amends where you have done wrong. Leave what is exhausting you. Nurture sincere relationships and treasure those who have quietly remained beside you. My beloved child, some good things may seem to have been withheld for far too long, but I want you to understand that delay does not mean you have been forgotten, and the losses of your past do not have the right to determine your entire future. I see the journey you have traveled, the doors you once knocked upon that did not open, the opportunities that appeared very near before suddenly slipping beyond your reach, and the prayers you repeated until you no longer knew what else to say. During such seasons, Archangel Michael, the faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, is an image reminding you to preserve courage before things you cannot yet understand. Yet, I am the one speaking directly to you today. Do not use the silence of one season to conclude that the story of your life has stopped being written. I want you to imagine a great room holding the things you once desired, abilities you have not yet used, opportunities that did not arrive at the right time, and dreams that disappointment has covered with dust. Written upon each box in this room is not a promise of money or immediate success, but a trace of something good you can still build, a peace you have never learned to preserve, an ability you were not confident enough to develop, a healthy relationship you were not ready to receive, or a wisdom that could only be formed through years of experience. Certain gifts cannot be entrusted to you while your heart remains controlled by fear, because if they arrive too soon, you may fail to recognize their value or know how to protect them. You have wondered why you were required to endure so many delays. You watched others receive what you once prayed for and quietly asked whether I showed favoritism. You worked, waited, hoped, and tried, yet sometimes the results still did not match your effort. I know that this can cause deep pain. However, do not immediately call every obstacle a supernatural conspiracy against you. Some doors have not opened because you need additional skills. Some plans failed because the foundation was not yet strong enough. Some relationships did not continue because neither person yet knew how to love in a healthy way. There are also things you cannot control, arising from circumstances, other people's decisions, or genuine injustice in life. Within your family and ancestral line, you may have inherited burdens you did not create. These may appear in the way people approach money with panic, use silence as punishment, conceal their emotions until everything explodes, or accept mistreatment because they believe they have no other choice. These patterns pass from one generation to another, not as an inescapable mystical sentence, but as ways of living repeated so often that they become familiar. When no one stops to examine them, they continue. But when you recognize them, you gain the ability to choose a different path. You are not responsible for growing up among circumstances. You did not have the power to choose. You are not at fault because those who came before you were unhealed, did not know how to manage their emotions, lacked opportunities to learn, or made decisions that affected you. Yet from this day forward, you are responsible for how you continue to live. I do not want you to use family history to condemn your parents, your ancestors, or yourself. Look at the past with honesty and compassion. They may also have tried to survive with the understanding they possessed, even though many of their choices caused harm. You can recognize wrongdoing without nourishing contempt. You can end a cycle without denying the bonds of family. The greatest openings are often not found in a mysterious judgment, but within wounds you have not yet dared to face. When you carry a fear of abandonment, you may cling to someone who does not respect you. When you believe you are not good enough, you may accept opportunities beneath your ability. When you grow up in scarcity, you may spend impulsively or hold everything too tightly, because you fear there will be nothing tomorrow. When you have been betrayed, you may distrust even sincere people. These responses once helped you protect yourself. But if they remain unexamined, they may prevent you from receiving healthy things that are now approaching. Therefore, deliverance does not begin with a great noise from a warehouse in heaven, but with very real moments in your daily life. It begins when you dare to name a pain truthfully, instead of continuing to pretend that you are fine. It occurs when you seek needed support, learn how to manage money differently, establish boundaries in a relationship, or apologize for something you have done. It is the day you refuse to repeat behavior that has wounded your entire family. Every such choice is like an old seal being removed, not through a miracle that erases every consequence, but through truth, responsibility, and courage. I do not want you to believe that you need a special ritual to break free from the past. You do not need to live in fear that a mistake made by someone before you can forever deprive you of every opportunity. What others did may affect you, but it does not have to determine you. You still possess the ability to learn, heal, change, and build a new way of living. You can become the first person in your family to apologize without making excuses, the first to rest without guilt, the first to establish boundaries without cruelty, or the first to seek support instead of concealing every struggle. This is how a history changes direction. It does not happen by denying what occurred, but by refusing to let it continue repeating itself. You cannot rewrite your childhood, but you can decide how you will treat others today. You cannot regain every opportunity you missed, but you can prepare yourself to recognize new ones. You cannot force the person who hurt you to become different, but you can stop giving them the authority to continue causing harm. Each time you choose a healthier response, you are building a road that those who come after you may walk more easily. Some things you call withheld packages are actually abilities within you that have never been opened. Perhaps you possess talent, but were afraid of criticism and therefore never dared to use it. Perhaps you have a voice capable of encouraging others, but you have remained silent for years. Perhaps you have leadership ability, yet because you were once underestimated, you came to believe that you should always remain in the background. I do not want you to wait for someone else to bring everything you need. Look at what is already in your hands. Learn, practice, try again, and allow yourself to begin with small steps. True restoration does not always arrive all at once. Sometimes it comes in portions, allowing you time to adjust and mature. A relationship may be healed through many conversations. A financial situation may improve through months of discipline. Trust is rebuilt through consistent actions. Confidence returns each time you keep a promise to yourself. Do not despise restoration because it happens slowly. Things that arrive quickly do not always remain, while what is built one step at a time often possesses a deeper foundation. I do not promise that everything you have lost will return unchanged. Some people have left and are no longer part of the journey ahead. Certain periods of time cannot be recovered. Some opportunities have passed and will not appear again. Yet this does not mean that your life must continue becoming poorer because of those losses. I can teach you to love more maturely, build healthier relationships, and use the time that remains more wisely. Even if an old door never opens again, it may still help you recognize a new path that is already present. You often want compensation to appear in a grand form, so that the difficult years can be proven meaningful. But look more deeply. Perhaps your compensation is the day when remembering the past no longer causes panic. Perhaps it is the moment when you enter a room and no longer feel beneath everyone else. Perhaps it is when you say no to an unjust demand, though you once constantly feared disappointing others. Perhaps it is a morning when you awaken and realize that you have stopped waiting for another person's apology before allowing yourself to live in peace. Do not turn restoration into revenge, dressed in beautiful clothing. I do not want you to wait for the day of your success merely so that those who once underestimated you will regret it. If you live only to prove them wrong, they are still controlling the direction of your life. Build because you want to serve more effectively. Care for your family more wisely, and use your abilities with greater purpose. The most beautiful success is not one that makes others smaller, but one that makes you more generous, discerning, and capable of opening a path for others. If a new opportunity comes, receive it with gratitude, but do not lose your ability to reason. Not everything appearing after a season of waiting is right for you. Some invitations are attractive, but require you to abandon your values. Some relationships make you feel immediately noticed, but lack lasting respect. Some projects promise fast results, while containing risks you do not yet understand. Do not allow the desire for compensation to make you impulsive. Peace does not pressure you through the fear of missing out. When you think everything should have arrived many years ago, remember that the person you were then may not have been ready to manage what you desired. This does not mean you were being punished. Sometimes you needed to learn boundaries before being entrusted with a deep relationship. You needed to learn management before receiving greater resources. You needed to heal your desire for recognition before receiving greater influence. Preparation does not diminish the gift. It keeps the gift from becoming a reason for you to lose yourself. Stop looking back upon the past years with only one question. How much did I lose? Ask also, what did I learn? Who did I become? And what within me deserves to be preserved? You learned how to recognize sincere people. You came to understand your limitations. Because you know what it feels like to be overlooked, you can see others more deeply. Because you have experienced scarcity, you can appreciate small things. Although these lessons do not make pain good, they can help you refuse to let suffering become completely meaningless. Forgive those who contributed to your delay. Some did not believe in you, some restrained you, and some made promises they did not keep. Forgiveness does not remove their responsibility, nor does it require you to continue trusting them. You can release the desire for revenge while still establishing clear boundaries. Allow your heart to become lighter, but do not throw away the wisdom you have learned. Forgive yourself for doors missed because of fear, for times you delayed, for unwise decisions, and for years when you lived beneath your ability. You cannot go back and force your former self to move faster. Yet you can treat that person with compassion, the person you once were tried to survive, with the understanding available at the time. Today you know more, so use that new understanding to make better choices rather than using it to condemn the past. I want you to rise and participate in your own restoration. Reopen the unfinished application. Learn the skill that once intimidated you. Address a debt through a realistic plan. Speak with the person who needs to be heard. Leave a habit that is quietly stealing your time and strength. Do not merely wait for imaginary packages to fall at your door. Prepare an orderly place where something good can be received, used, and protected. The years of silence may not end with a sound that shakes the entire world. They may end with a quiet decision inside your heart. From this day forward, you will no longer allow fear to lead you. You will no longer live as though an invisible past has imprisoned you. You will not use family history to excuse behavior that needs to change. You will choose responsibility without self-condemnation, hope without illusion, and faith without abandoning discernment. Lift your head, my beloved child. Something good may be coming, but you do not need to assign it a deadline or an absolute form. Allow life to unfold one day at a time. Receive opportunities with gratitude, correction with humility, and assistance when it is needed. Release bitterness toward those who came before you, while also releasing patterns that are no longer healthy. Become someone who builds a new legacy through kindness, integrity, listening, and responsibility. Then you will understand that the deepest compensation is not the return of everything you once lost together with some form of interest. It is the fact that the past can no longer take anything more from you. It no longer steals your sleep, confidence, ability to love, or hope. You can remember without being imprisoned, hurt without becoming bitter, forgive while still protecting yourself, and move forward without needing every question to be answered. I am leading you toward a steadier peace. Be grateful that you still possess today in which to choose again. Be grateful for those who have sincerely walked beside you, for lessons that opened your eyes, and for every opportunity you have received to begin again. Do not live by demanding that life repay every debt according to your expectations. Live so that each remaining day is used meaningfully, so that the love you give does not arise from fear, so that your work reflects integrity, and so that those who come after you do not have to repeat every cycle you endured. My beloved child, step out of the room filled with delayed gifts and return to the life presently before you. Some things will come. Some things you must actively build, and some things need to be released in peace. Whatever form the path ahead may take, walk with courage, gratitude, and discerning hope. Forgive, make changes, do what is good, and do not allow former days to continue writing in your place. From today onward, you can begin a new history, not the history of someone who received everything back immediately, but of someone who refused to let loss take away the future, transformed pain into wisdom, and chose to live with greater kindness, steadiness, and clarity each day.